Today we are talking about a shocking story connected to Little People, Big World, and the Roloff family. The claims describe a situation filled with betrayal, legal trouble, and emotional pain surrounding Amy Roloff and her husband Chris Merrick. According to this version of events, everything began after Amy rebuilt her life following her divorce from Matt Roloff in 2016. After the divorce, Amy focused on creating a new chapter for herself. She found happiness again with Chris, worked on her personal projects, and built a business that became very important to her. That business, known as Amy's Little Kitchen, started as a small idea based on recipes she had been making for years. Over time, it grew into something much bigger. It became a strong source of income, a creative outlet, and a symbol of her independence. The business gained attention from fans and customers across different places. It was featured in stores, sold products online, and became popular at local markets. Many people saw it as more than just a business. It represented Amy's journey after a difficult period in her life. It showed that she could rebuild and succeed on her own. However, the story takes a dark turn with claims that someone within the family filed a secret lawsuit against her. According to the narrative, this lawsuit was not public at first and was handled in a very private way. The person behind it was not clearly identified and was referred to only in vague terms. This added mystery and tension to the situation. The lawsuit allegedly claimed that Amy had used a family recipe without permission to build her business. It suggested that the recipe belonged to the family as a whole and that she did not have the right to profit from it alone. The complaint reportedly demanded financial compensation and even called for her business to be shut down or sold. Amy was said to be shocked by these accusations. From her perspective, the recipes were her own, developed over many years of cooking for her family. She believed the claims were not only false but also deeply personal. It felt like an attack coming from someone close to her, which made the situation even more painful. As the legal battle continued, the financial pressure began to grow. Legal cases can be very expensive, especially when they involve complicated claims and long processes. According to the story, Amy had to spend a large amount of money on lawyers and legal defense. This began to affect her business operations. The situation reportedly became more difficult as time went on. The business that once brought her stability started to struggle under the weight of legal costs. Production slowed, growth plans were paused, and the stress began to impact both her personal and professional life. The claims then describe an even more serious development involving Chris. According to this version of events, he was arrested based on accusations connected to the lawsuit. These accusations included financial wrongdoing and involvement in hiding money related to the business. The allegations suggested that Chris used his professional knowledge to create complex financial structures. These were said to be used to move or hide money connected to the business. The claims also suggested that this was done to avoid legal responsibility and mislead others about the true financial situation. This part of the story represents a major escalation. Moving from a civil dispute about a recipe to criminal accusations is a significant shift. It raises serious questions about the evidence and the motivations behind such claims. At the same time, it is important to understand that allegations are not the same as proven facts. Claims made in lawsuits or reports still need to be supported by evidence and tested in court. Without verified information, it is not possible to confirm whether these events actually happened as described. The emotional impact on Amy, as described in the story, is severe. She is portrayed as facing not only financial stress but also personal betrayal. The idea that someone within her own family could be behind such actions adds another layer of pain. The story also highlights the pressure that public figures can face. Being part of a well-known show like Little People, Big World means that personal issues often become public discussions. This can make difficult situations even harder to manage. Family conflicts, especially when combined with business and legal issues, can become very complicated. When trust is broken, it can affect relationships in ways that are hard to repair. The story suggests that long-standing tensions within the family may have contributed to the situation. At the same time, it is worth questioning how much of this narrative is based on confirmed facts and how much may be speculation or exaggeration. Stories involving celebrities and reality TV often spread quickly, but they are not always accurate. There has been no widely confirmed public record showing that Amy was forced to sell her business because of a secret family lawsuit, or that Chris was jailed under these exact circumstances as described here. That does not mean challenges never existed, but it does mean the most extreme claims should be treated carefully. In situations like this, it is important to rely on verified information rather than rumors. Legal cases, especially serious ones involving criminal accusations, are usually documented and reported clearly when they are real and confirmed. The story, as presented, reflects themes of conflict, trust, and resilience. Whether fully accurate or not, it shows how quickly situations can escalate when legal and personal issues collide. For Amy, her journey has always been about overcoming challenges. From her early life to her time on television and beyond, she has faced many obstacles. Her ability to keep moving forward has been a key part of her story. This situation, real or exaggerated, fits into that larger narrative of struggle and resilience. It raises questions about family loyalty, business ownership, and the impact of public life on private matters. In the end, stories like this remind people to look carefully at what they hear and read. Not everything presented as fact is confirmed, and it is important to separate verified information from speculation. Amy's story, regardless of the details, continues to be one of perseverance. Whether dealing with family tensions, business challenges, or public attention, she remains a figure that many people continue to follow and support. This situation changes everything. What started as a civil dispute suddenly turns into something much more serious when it enters the criminal justice system. The stakes are no longer just about money or business. Now it becomes about freedom, reputation, and survival. For Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick, the pressure becomes overwhelming. When criminal charges are introduced, the entire dynamic shifts. The burden of proof is different, and the consequences are far more severe. Instead of negotiating settlements or business terms, the focus turns to legal defense and the risk of imprisonment. It creates a level of fear and urgency that did not exist before. Chris being denied bail at first makes the situation even more intense. Being considered a flight risk means the court sees him as someone who could potentially leave to avoid prosecution. For Amy, this becomes a breaking point. Knowing her husband is sitting in jail, even for a few days, is emotionally devastating. She is no longer just dealing with a lawsuit. She is dealing with the possibility of losing him completely. At the same time, the financial pressure continues to build. Legal defense in both civil and criminal cases is extremely expensive. Costs can rise quickly with lawyers, filings, investigations, and court appearances. Amy is now facing two battles at once, each draining her resources. The public reaction adds another layer of difficulty. Because of their connection to little people, big world, the situation attracts attention. Media coverage, speculation, and public opinion begin to influence how the story is seen. Businesses connected to Amy, including her brand, start to feel the impact. When a business becomes associated with controversy, partners and retailers often step back. Even if the claims are not proven, the risk alone can be enough to cause damage. According to this version of events, Amy's business begins to suffer. Products are removed, partnerships weaken, and growth stops. This creates a cycle that is very hard to escape. The legal problems damage the business, and the loss of business income makes it harder to fight the legal problems. Each issue feeds into the other, making the situation worse over time. The pressure to identify the person behind the lawsuit becomes more urgent. It is no longer just about curiosity. It is about understanding who is responsible and why this is happening. Without that knowledge, it is difficult to respond effectively. As the legal process continues, more aggressive moves are made. A request for a summary judgment suggests that the plaintiff believes they already have enough evidence to win without a full trial. This increases the pressure on Amy even further. Her legal team may believe they can fight and possibly win, but that comes with a cost. Trials take time, sometimes years, and require significant financial resources. At the same time, Chris's legal situation requires immediate attention and funding. This leads to an impossible decision. To protect her husband and continue the legal fight, Amy needs money. With limited options, she is forced to consider selling her business. Something she built over years becomes a financial resource to survive the crisis. Selling under pressure is rarely favorable. When a business is sold quickly due to legal or financial stress, it often goes for less than its true value. Buyers know the seller is in a difficult position and take advantage of that situation. The sale of her business represents more than just a financial loss. It is the loss of something personal, something she created.